So I'm not very loud, so if you can't hear me back there, then speak up.
You need to move around.
I worked with a lot of dementia patients in hospice. I was a hospice nurse for a really long time. So I know a whole lot about the end stage. And then my mother had Alzheimer's, and so we were with her the whole time, from the very first symptoms when we were in Europe. Oh my gosh, what's going on? And through the end, I moved up here to help take care of her, and went through all of that. We ended up having to put her in a facility because she was a wanderer, and she wandered off, and we had to call 911. It was a nightmare. So. Anyway, so probably everything you're going through, hers was worse.
I don't know about that.
You need to talk about it.
Mine was bad.
Yours was bad.
13 hours gone.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah.
In a truck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With the Weezer.
And I was one of the support groups here, so I highly recommend the support groups if you can make it to them. Get someone to stay with your loved one, and kind of, they really help. Just kind of vent. And sometimes we laugh. Just basically what I'm going to be talking about. Did you get those done?
They're on the copier.
So I'm not going to read it to you. I'm just going to give it to you, and then I'll embellish a little bit, and you can make notes on it or whatever you'd like to do. So I love this first sentence, though. I copied it verbatim out of an article, but it said, living with dementia is just as challenging as looking after someone who has the disease. Wouldn't you agree so far? Yeah, I don't know where all you are in your journeys, but it can be quite a challenge. And people with dementia get bored, just like anybody else does. And you can't just park them in front of a TV all day. That's not stimulating anything. So it's better to have, I like this little handout because you can keep it around, and when you're, thrashing around for something to do, they're driving you crazy or whatever, you can, pull this out and go, hey, give me an idea. They're just simple ideas on here that might keep them busy for a little bit, See, I hear some of them want to switch from one thing to another rapidly. My mom was kind of like that, so it was a challenge to keep her entertained. But if you can, if you can keep them busy mentally and even physically by, some studies have shown 6 to 9 months. Alzheimer's and other dementias usually have, a limit of time that they're going to affect each person's brain. But if you can have 6 or 8 months that's better, that's good, right? Plus, it helps them feel involved and loved and more creative and just, more normal. It helps their self-esteem. It can decrease agitation and wandering, and all of this without medication. So,
We apologize.
not a problem.
Weezer couldn't sit here, or one of you.
How are you doing?
Yes.
They got her back there? She hasn't escaped yet?
Okay, so before you begin, make sure that you have a safe place, a safe environment. Try to make it as relaxing as possible and fun, and help them feel safe and comfortable. And then think about what you're going to be doing and make sure it matches their cognition and their abilities so far, and that's going to change frequently. So a lot of these things that you start out, like playing Scrabble, for example, they can still play Scrabble, and then, after a while they can't play Scrabble. So, you can do the ABCs with the tiles. You can just have fun putting them on the board and talking about that. Just kind of relax. There is no right or wrong for anything that you're involving them in. So don't be judgmental and tell them they're doing it wrong, you need to do it this way. You know, they're doing it their way and they're happy. So with dementia, a lot of times one moment will bleed into the next. So if you can keep their mood light, you're liable to have a much better day in the long run. Focus on things that you might both enjoy, so you're not just, you know, locked in to 30 minutes of boredom. Let's see. So help them get started if they're having an issue with that, or if they just like to sit back and watch, that's okay too. So we'll start with something outside. Get them connected with nature if you can. If you have a place where you can go outside, even the backyard, just wander around, or if you have just a patio, take them out there. You know, watch the birds, listen to their songs and talk about that, and maybe feed the birds. It's fun to watch. You can rake leaves, or you can start a little garden and maybe have them plant some of the plants and then talk about them as they grow and develop. If you don't have a garden area, you can do indoor gardening with just little potted plants, but involve them in helping them get the plants planted and then keeping up with the watering and talking about them. That's kind of fun. You can go to a park if you have a park nearby. This says sit on a bench or a swing. Be careful with the swings if their balance isn't good. So sweeping is good. I'll put seat, but it should be sweep, porch or patio. Just sit outside on a nice chair and drink some hot chocolate or some coffee or a Coke or something and enjoy the day. Just relish in pretty weather when we have it. So I'll get some ideas for outside. Inside, there's a zillion things you can do. So I have the list that I have there. One of my favorite things to do is sing. Because people have a special part in your memory where songs get stored, and people remember songs longer than they remember language. So, and I've actually seen people stand up and sing with a group, wrote songs like Happy Birthday, you know, just row, row, row your boat, things like that. When they've stopped even talking, they'll stand up and sing. It's amazing. So that can usually distract them. If you're having trouble getting them into the bathroom to take a bath, whatever, you can sing. Come on, let's sing, and walk down the hallway singing and swinging your hands, or, you know, holding hands and all. See if you can get them in the mood, and things might go a little better. I can't guarantee that, but it's worth a try. If they have a particular type of music that they like, you can curate your own list of songs and record them whatever devices you have, or if you have like an Alexa or one of the little Apple things, you can ask them to play music from a certain decade. You know, play 50 songs, and so that helps a lot. And you can dance if they can still dance. If they like yoga, you can do a little easy yoga. It's fun. It's hard to get them off the floor though, so be careful. Have something they can pull up on. Board games are great if you can get interested in a board game. You don't have to play it exactly by the rules. You can play whatever is easier. You know, if you keep drawing the penalty card that sends you back to home, just get that card out there if it upsets. Bingo is wonderful if they can play bingo, and that's even good with just a couple of people. You don't have to have a big old crowd to play bingo. And when they can't identify the letters and all anymore, you can just let them put the little marker wherever they want.
And we're playing bingo for second Saturday in a couple of weeks.
Oh, good.
So on March 11th, we're playing bingo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love seeing them play bingo in the memory units. You know, because some of them are real intent and they're playing it right, and the others are just putting little piles of things on the card, but they're happy as they can be. So they all get little prizes. So that's fun. Reading books is great. Reading them out loud, something that they like. You can even have them read to you, which makes them feel good, helps their self-esteem. Let's see, some other things that aren't on this list are like crossword puzzles. just puzzle books with simple crosswords in there. If they can manage that, that's fun, keep them busy for a little while. Looking through old pictures, that's a great one. My family does that all the time whenever they come in town. My mom never got around to putting the pictures in a album, so we just have boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of photos. And we'll just sit on the sofa with a box or two of photos, and we'll just pass it around and talk about them and laugh. And you know, that really is a fun thing to do. And you know, memories, the short-term memory is what really annoys you the most with dementia. But the long-term memories stay for quite a while. They can get going on some of those photos and tell you stories that you've never heard before. They're, you know, may or may not be true, but a lot of them are true. Well, this guy one time told me about his brother. I was just visiting with him, sitting on the bed in an assisted living, and he started telling me about his brother who got run over by a car and survived, and he was telling me all about his injuries and all this stuff, and his family didn't even know about it, because apparently it had been, you know, a horrible memory, so he had suppressed that. But we were just chit-chatting, and I guess he felt relaxed enough just to talk about it, so that was pretty interesting. Ask them about stories about their life, because they're going to remember those long things, like their first date. That should be fun. Everybody's first date was kind of a nightmare, right? Yeah. How they met their spouse, if they have one. You know, something that happened to them that made them feel special. You know, you name it. Just come up with things, and you can just keep the conversation going. If you have weights around, little hand weights, you can have them lift weights. You can help them. You can do it too. That's fun. Keep them busy, build up some strength. Let's see, they can do card games. Card games are great as long as they can play cards, keep them going. So I had, it helps if the cards are pretty. I found some of these are from an old Delta Airlines. I found these in some of Mom's stuff. So if they're pretty and attractive, you know, if they just want to look at the back, that's all right. You know, and these are just regular playing cards. But if you have, if they're having some sight issues, you can get, these just came from a casino, you know, they got the hole poked in them, and they're nice and big. And if they can't actually play cards, you can just have them sort the cards by color or by suit, or, you know, the numbers in order, or whatever you like. Separate out all the royalty, you know.
They're having a really good time in there.
Yeah, it sounds good. Let's see. We got, sorting coins. That's a good one. I found this after my mom died. Thought, oh man.
I tried that. He did it. He would stick the nickels with the quarters, and
That's okay.
it would drive me crazy.
Just put them back in the jar. Save it for another day. It's a fun activity. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, just say, oh look, you got all the silver ones together.
Another one is like different colors of paper, and have them like all
Yeah,
the
that's
same
a good
size, and then just have them sort the different colors, and they enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm glad you're doing this. 'Cause
Yeah,
I need
easy
some ideas.
stuff. Yeah, just easy stuff. You can, if they ever like greeting cards, you know, you can like make your own little calendar of everybody's birthday. Go buy out a bunch of cards and have them go ahead and sign their name or write something nice on them. And then, you know, even after they aren't doing so well, you have these cards with their signature on them, and maybe I love you or something like that. It's kind of cool to get that. So that's a fun thing to do. Old keys, these are not old keys, but old keys are fun to play with. They might try to get on the doors and stuff. You know, it makes them feel important. They can put it in their pocket and rattle them around. You know, just something to kind of fidget with. You can do hand massage. You know, put some nice lotion on the hands and just give them a good massage. It's very relaxing. You know, do it on their feet if you dare go there. Get the ladies a manicure. You can give the men a manicure too. You know, file their nails and polish them up a little bit. Fun and relaxing.
These two nothing.
Hmm?
he's chewed his down to nothing. His
Well-
nails, he's never did that before.
Nervous habit.
May need something to fidget with.
I bought him one of those pillows with the different stuff on it, and he won't even play with it.
Well, just try something else, cause he may come back to it. Don't get rid of it.
Oh, I'm not.
Cause he seems to be relatively high functioning so far. In the brief moment that I met him, you know, he shook my hand, he knew to do that.
And
Came in there and said
he'll
hello.
open the door for you, but
Yeah.
like yesterday, he couldn't remember which side of the car he was supposed to get in on,
Yeah.
and so it's like, start to get in the back. First he started getting my seat. That's not
Yeah.
yours.
Uh-huh.
Goes around the car. It's like, okay.
You know, Honey made the comment, her husband was in the hospital, she got one of those fidgets. Where did y'all get these?
Amazon.
These just spin.
There you go.
They're fun to hold.
And the poppets, those things.
Big variety.
There's a bunch of them up there.
He likes
Yeah,
that.
in fact, I'm gonna pass some out. It's like I'll reach over and order them online, so. I'll have one.
I'm a fidgeter.
Yeah.
And so I, like if I'm presenting or if I'm working on something, I have this to help me focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Works pretty well.
that's the one, yeah.
The fidget spinner.
Well, I had opened it, you could put it back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look at these fast riders.
She found me.
Yeah.
His favorite color is blue.
Awesome.
Well, they say
Sitting in the chair, maybe he won't chew.
one of them.
Yeah, they take a while, so,
Yeah.
well, they're really fun to play with.
And they're kind of mesmerizing.
Yeah, they are.
Addictive kind of way.
You can even get some of the light you can spin.
There's some that have the poppets in the corners on the different things.
Little rubbery.
Oh yeah.
Laura brought these in, this is pretty awesome, just to stand here and mess with.
Uh-huh. See?
Amazon.
What are,
Yeah.
that's just, I'm sure they have a name.
I don't know what these are called. Yeah, I originally got these when I was at the elementary school, and the kids love them. And then there's those stretchy ones.
Yeah.
They call those monkey noodles. I don't know why,
Really stretch.
but
Those ones that stick to the wall.
no, they just are stretchy, and you can wrap them and play with them. Sometimes, you know, if you stretch it too far, it can pop back and get you. So you just have to be mindful of that.
What do you Google, what do you put into Amazon to search for that type of thing?
Fidgets,
Fidgets.
fidget
Yeah.
toys,
Okay.
and there's
Okay.
cubes. There's all kinds of
I
stuff.
looked up
Yeah.
Alzheimer's,
Oh, that store, the Alzheimer's store, that,
well, no, but on Amazon, I looked
Oh.
up, Alzheimer's, things that they
Mhm.
can use, and it gave me all kinds of stuff.
okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Then when I found out there's an Alzheimer's store, you knew that.
No.
There
Okay.
is,
There is an
but when I
Alzheimer's.
looked at it, a lot of the things were fairly expensive.
Yeah.
'Cause
Some of
they're,
them
you know,
were.
making money off of it, but these are just little cheapo things.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
not
like party
supposed to
favors.
do
You
that.
probably get the
Unless
same
you
thing on Amazon.
donate
for
Yeah,
less.
Mhm.
yeah, these, mine just came from Amazon. I
Mhm.
love this one Laura brought in. This is a little nylon thing.
Mesh.
It's just mesh that's sewed together at both ends, and it has a marble in it.
And they can put it in their pocket and
Is
kind
that a
of
marble game?
like a little
Yeah.
security type
This
thing.
is just a marble game, you know, if they like to play marbles, there's all kinds of things you can do with marbles, you know, just shoot the marbles if they still know how to do it. Hands have great memories, so
He
probably.
can do a push-up.
Okay, there you go, you can exercise.
He can hop up off the floor.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
He's really
That sounds
agile
wonderful.
for, even though this doesn't work, but the rest of him is always good.
That's great, you're ahead of the game.
So every once in a while I tell him to
Drop and give me a hand.
drop and do it. I mean, and then I film them doing it. I mean, he's got great. I can't do
awesome.
that, but
Yeah,
I can watch it.
okay.
It's great.
These are fun, this came from the Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
This is Mardi Gras road, but you can get bigger ones.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Kids
our
play these.
grandkids
They
have
got
it.
those like $1 like people are.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty
They're called poppets. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a camera that's pretty easy to work, let them take some pictures. Those are pretty revealing. The things that they choose to take pictures of
Oh, yeah.
are fascinating. You know, it might just be a little study of something weird, you know, like the bottom of that bottle. It's pretty slick, you know. And then don't print them, have them take pictures of you and family members or dogs or whatever you have. And then you can put together a little scrapbook. It's kind of fun. If you want to add to scrapbooking, you can give them some magazines with pretty pictures in them, and they can cut those out. And then you can laminate them with like package tape. You'll have to do that, but they can mess with them as long as they want to and not hurt them. Let's see, what else? There's finger paint. Who doesn't like to finger paint? That's great. If they like to color, there's all kinds of adult coloring books that are just wonderful. They're beautiful pictures, and there's all kinds of fun markers and colored pencils to make them look really pretty. So if they scribble all over it, that's all right. You know, it's their coloring book. They can do whatever they want. Let's see. We have, okay, so in the kitchen is great because it's pretty common for a lot of dementia people to lose interest in food. So if you can get them involved in anything in the kitchen, it kind of reawakens their desire for food, and it makes them feel important. They can do some of the measuring or stirring. You can make cookies, you can bake their favorite meal, and they can participate. If that's too much for them, they can set the table. That's a wonderful chore to give to somebody with dementia because they know how to set a table. Basically, it doesn't have to be perfect, but they know, a knife and fork and spoon, and maybe a placemat, and the glass goes here. They can have a lot of fun with that. You can decorate for the holidays and have them participate, but things where they would like them to be. It'd be weird, but that's okay. Enjoy them while they're here. Easter's coming up. It might be fun to color some eggs. You can eat egg salad for a week after that, but that's all right. Have some fun with coloring eggs. If they already know how to knit or crochet, that's a great activity. I do both, so I'm planning on falling back on that when I have dementia. you can kind of concentrate on it, or if you're real good at it, you can listen to people talk while you do it. It's just real relaxing, and I am a natural fidgeter, so it gives me something to do with my hands, and it's real calming. So it helps people settle down. But if they don't know how to do it, don't bother to teach them. You can't really teach them too much. Let's see. Oh, folding laundry. A lot of people, especially women, really like to fold laundry. I do. I've seen them at facilities have laundry baskets full of fairly small towels. They don't have to be full-size bath towels, but kitchen towels and face towels and some washcloths. And they'll bring it in and set it on a table, and these ladies will just come over there and they'll just start folding things and putting them in a pile. They don't have to be just right, that's okay. They're having fun, and then as soon as that's all done, someone comes and takes that basket, goes around the other way, and they have another one that's all ready with unfolded things in it. So they're back there unfolding everything and getting the next basket ready, and that can keep them busy for a while. A lot of times they like to sweep, so you can give them some sweeping jobs. Some men like to just sand a piece of wood, just find a piece of a 2x4 or something and give them some sandpaper and let them go. They can sand and sand. Makes a mess, but it's fun. They can do that.
Do it outside.
Yeah, it's a good thing to do outside. You can let them organize paper. You can get like a lot of your junk mail, just kind of just give it to them in the envelopes if they can open them, and if they can't, then open it for them and say, I really need these sorted. Do you think you could just get this organized for me so I can think more clearly? And don't give them your important papers, of course, but some things that they can just plow through and maybe help organize. If they've been an office worker for years and years, that might be really fun for them. Or playing with paper clips, maybe paper clip chains. You can string macaroni. You can decorate Christmas trees or Easter trees or whatever with that. Let's see. Arranging flowers. And I like this one, untying knots. Just go to a hardware store and get some soft rope and then tie it in just loose knots and then say, yeah, this rope is a mess. Can you help me get these knots out of this rope? And that'll keep them busy for a little bit. It's challenging and fun. And then, let's see, we talked about the, some of the fidget things, but also if they're agitated or, you know, they're just kind of antsy or they're afraid, you can have them just like pet one of your, if you have a pet or somebody else who has a really nice pet that will bite, have them bring it over and they can maybe cuddle it or just stroke it. It feels good to stroke a pet. Even a soft blanket, just a faux fur blanket or a real soft fuzzy blanket that you can lay over them and they can just pet it. A lot of the ladies, as they get older, love to play with dolls. They'll play with dolls for hours, you know, dressing them and undressing them, especially baby dolls. Let's see. You can brush their hair. That feels good. Everybody likes their hair brushed or combed. They don't like it washed, but they like it. So that's about all I have, but do you all have any ideas or things you'd like to contribute?
So you said you were in Europe when your mom had symptoms. Were y'all just on vacation or were y'all living there?
No, we were on vacation, so.
And she wandered off.
No, she didn't want, this was the very first time we noticed anything was going on. We were on one of those little cruises, my brother took us for that, and we had a wonderful time, but the whole time, Mom was constantly looking for things, like her sunglasses, or it was mostly her glasses. She was kind of obsessed with glasses and sunglasses, so we spent, you know, every day for about half an hour combing through this teeny tiny room for her glasses, and they would be someplace strange, you know, and I think, oh, it's weird, you know, why would she put her glasses in the drawer with her clothes, you know, but that was it, and I didn't realize it. And then the last day that we were there, she got real confused. It was a kind of crazy day. We had to go to the airport, and no one spoke English. And we couldn't read the direction signs. There were no arrows or anything. We were on our own. So we were trying to navigate through the airport, and she was just kind of freaking out. And then I lived in Austin at the time, so we flew back into Austin, and she was going to fly home. But flying home from Austin, not a huge airport, you have to go to either Atlanta or Memphis to change flights, and then come to Shreveport. And I was horrified that she was not going to make it, so I made a lot of phone calls to make sure that someone got her at the airport, you know, took her to the next flight, made sure she was settled and so on, and they did. They were wonderful, and she made it. And so, and then she seemed to be symptom free for a while, and then the neighbors started calling me saying, I think you need to come check on your mom. And I did. I was up there at least once a month checking on her, but you could see things were deteriorating. And so, how old was she? She was in her 70s. She kept saying she was too young to have this, and she knew she had Alzheimer's.
He's 73.
Yeah.
And he's been with it since about 2015.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long disease. Yeah. So.
Well, your dad was already passed at the time.
Yeah, he had Parkinson's dementia, so I'm kind of doomed.
Not necessarily, just part-time.
Yeah. But,
What do you have, sisters or brothers?
I have two brothers, so you know how that went.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both lived out of town, as did I. But they said, well, you're the nurse, and you're single, and my husband had died. So, of a brain tumor, so I've had all kinds of fun brain things to my wife. So, you know, I left everything to come up here and take care of her.
My friend's brother put their mom in a nursing home in another state. She lived here, he was still like in Virginia, put their mom in a nursing home in, somewhere. So of course she went and got her,
Yeah.
brought her down here, just like, that's about how much help he was.
Yeah, you can't do that. If they are in a facility, you should be there as often as possible. I went every day. So, and just sat with her, and we watch old movies and watch, you know, Lifetime Network. Sometimes I just bring a book and read it, but it was fun. And you know, I wouldn't have changed a thing. So it was lovely being with her that much, and even though she was declining, and we've always been polar opposites, but we loved each other a lot. So, you know, we just put all that aside and went with it. So it was lovely. She had a nice life. But anyway.
Mine spends a lot of time with my mother.
Oh, really?
Because my mother's 92,
Uh-huh.
and she has CLL.
Oh, gosh.
And so, I mean, she was free of it for like 11 years,
Mhm.
and then she got COVID, and it came back. When they finally got on some medicine that we think has reduced them or eliminated them again,
Uh-huh.
she's taking oral medicine.
Mhm.
But she can't, her little legs are swollen at the ankles and stuff, and it's hard for her to get around.
Yeah.
So I go with my dad to church on Saturday evenings,
Mhm.
and I don't take him anymore because when it comes to going to communion, he doesn't know what to do, and you know, it's obvious to everybody that something's not right.
Mhm.
And it's, you know, it gets really confused being in a different place. So I always tell him, now you're gonna go take care of mama. And of course, my mother knows, she's gonna take care of you.
Aw.
But I mean, they'll sit there and watch
Yeah.
old country westerns, you know,
Uh-huh.
on TV together, and he's just fine with that. So
That's so sweet.
that way he,
Mhm.
you know, he thinks he's doing something,
Sure.
you know, like taking care of
Yeah.
my mother.
Mhm. Yeah, everybody needs to feel useful,
Yeah.
you know, so being part of a family is a wonderful thing. So, anybody else?
Is it typical that she wants to go to bed starting at like, we start at 5 o'clock and I'm ready for bed, I need to go to bed. And do you think that'll help during the summer where it gets lighter, it stays lighter? Cause we know that the darkness, she kind of freaks out about the darkness. She doesn't like it. But she'll go and lay down in the dark room. So it's just, and I think a lot of it, they have a lot of windows at my brother's house, and the reflection,
Uh-huh.
kind of, the reflections in the windows, I think, it'll trigger her.
Mhm.
So, but she gets really kind of real antsy, and she'll get, it's to the point where I'm like, I'm not gonna force you to stay up, you know? You can go lay down, but we try to get her to stay up as long as she can.
Yeah.
Me and her share a room, so it's like,
Oh.
yeah. So at night when she wants to get up and talk and hang out, sometimes she'll get up at 2 and 3 in the morning, but she'll sleep through the night sometimes, and then sometimes it's every day's different.
Yeah.
It's not been consistent, but when she does start having anxiety, when you talked about a pet, that really does work, because my brother has a puppy dog, and he'll sit on her lap, and I'll say, Mama, pet, Mickey, and Mickey needs loving right now, and she also feels like she's taking care of him, so it does work.
Well, and animals know. They know who needs the love.
They really do.
And even if you don't have an actual animal, you can get a stuffed dog or a stuffed cat and whatnot, and they will love it and take care of it.
Mhm.
And it's just that companionship.
Yeah, they're great. And you know, life is funny. When you're born, you are completely dependent on others. You learn how to sit up, and eventually you learn how to feed yourself, and you become continent, and then you learn to walk, you know, crawling and walking, and then you get through your life, and then at the end, everything goes in reverse order. So unless you suddenly die of a heart attack, everything just kind of slowly goes backwards. And you just see it more with dementia, cause it goes on for so long, but it's, you lose the ability to walk, you lose the ability to sit up, you lose the ability to speak, and someone has to feed you, and, you know, you sleep more and more, that's common. And your hours are all wackadoodle, and, you know, and it's just, you know, if you had children, you kinda have to sleep when the baby sleeps, so,
Yeah.
you know, and get through it, but I think that's kind of beautiful that it makes this
Full circle.
circle.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, anything else? You wanna play, you wanna sort my coins? It's been needing to be